COVID-19 was honestly probably one of the most challenging things that we've ever been through as like a team and as an organisation. I think it was scary though. There was definitely like fear, and nobody knew what was happening. So I think to say that we were in like a state of what felt like an emergency, we tried so hard to think about how are we going to support all our families when we're not actually physically there anymore. Lots of other services had stopped. And so other supports that we would normally refer families on to were no longer there. So we were trying to provide the support that we had always provided somehow in a different way, and also kind of fill in the gaps from services that were no longer operating. And that in itself just was a massive challenge.
The volume of wellbeing support calls, I mean, feedback from the beneficiaries, these were lifelines. These were consistency every single week.
I had a call, I think it was from Stephanie, asking me if I'll be interested for the sing and play. So I was really happy. I was really happy. So because Hazel, she didn't have much to enjoy with other kids because she was just at home, just watching TV. It was quite boring. So I found it was really good because most of the rhymes Hazel learned, it was on the Zoom, sing and play with other kids.
I was a wee bit worried because I was cut off for everybody. I was a single mum, it was just me and my son. I was worried about what support I would have. But obviously Healthy Valleys were there. It made me realise that I wasn't alone.
We got a lot of help through packs and things that were sent out. Best one for me was through the Play-Doh and everything else, learning how to do that with the kids because of not having any activities.
During lockdown, my mental health deteriorated a bit. I was becoming quite anxious over everyday things. I got in touch with Healthy Valleys and they referred me to Mandy, the CBT, and she just helped me just come to terms with a few personal issues that I was having. And at the end of the 8-week block, I was a totally different person. I'd even applied for a new job and I'd actually got the position. And I would never have been able to do it if it wasn't for Healthy Valleys.
We were trying to move things onto online delivery, and a lot of the families, they didn't have the devices, never mind the rural internet connections. Do you know, all of these were huge, huge barriers that we had to then overcome.
But you know, we actually never gave up, and that's like one thing that I feel like I'm so proud of. I'm so proud of the team and the fully resilient families, the volunteers and all the community organisations for just not giving up.
Yeah, everybody just went above and beyond.
One of the great things that Healthy Valleys did was they gave us activity packs, and this helped to encourage me and my 5-year-old son to get out the house and go out and enjoy outdoor play, use some chalks, kick a football about. It helped him to feel excited and just feel like he was a child again.
As a Healthy Valleys volunteer, I made one-to-one calls on a regular basis to our Resilient Families beneficiary. I also received calls which enabled people to have prescriptions delivered and shopping. I enjoyed being part of an organisation that was helping the whole community.
We're most proud of our rapid response in changing our delivery model, which was a lifeline to so many families in such challenging times.
We continued to achieve incredible outcomes for our families, and we are so proud that we were able to support our community and one another.
Overall, Healthy Valleys has helped me when I needed the most during the COVID pandemic. We've realised that we've got a bright future ahead and that we can reach our fullest potential with Healthy Valleys on our side.
At the onset of the pandemic in March 2020, we found ourselves receiving an overwhelming cry for help from the people in our local communities. As a team, we have enabled continuity of support and have continued to help our communities connect, support, nourish and thrive.
We connected volunteers to opportunities to help within their communities, ensuring people had essential items delivered directly to their doors. When we were unable to provide access to face-to-face activities, we still connected people through our walking program and adapted all other activities where we could. We provided online yoga, cooking sessions, healthy habits, weight management courses, cooking on a budget, youth cafe, virtual coffee mornings and peer support sessions to connect people online.
Resilient Communities also supported the wider community pop-up groups by sourcing PPE supplies. We were always just a phone call away to support people with advice and signposting.
It's great to get back out walking again, isn't it, Gail, after such a challenging, tough year. We've not been able to get out in our usual health walks.
Yeah, it was hard, but it was good. We went to photography competition, that got everybody out walking. Families, individuals. We had over 120 entries, so yeah, it was tough. But
we still managed to get people out to do their health walks, even though it was doing it on their own. I think the incentive for the photography was great, and how amazing that our volunteer Donald won the Volunteer of the Year as well.
That was fantastic to get the dementia friendly accreditation. That was brilliant. Yeah. That was a big high point.
Healthy Valleys provided much needed nourishment to our communities throughout lockdown, and we immediately delivered hot meals to people's homes in the first few days, going on to deliver 1,450 fresh food boxes to families, and we worked in partnership with South Lanarkshire Council to operate 2 community larders, providing dignified access to food to over 476 individuals.
There was one guy who lived just in the flats next to where we stopped in 2 places, and the first place we stopped, he lived just next to it, and he came quite regularly. Had quite a lot of issues.
Yeah.
And he came to get the food, and then he started to help us.
He had been furloughed as well, and with all the Wednesday feed, it was definitely helpful, and the kids loved it especially.
Children were deeply affected by the lockdown, and they suddenly found themselves cut off from support services and their peers. Resilient Communities created a youth cafe, delivered outdoor play as restrictions allowed, and carried out doorstep visits with our children whilst delivering activity packs.
It helped tremendously, because it tells them that I wouldn't be here right now, like the way I am, if it wasn't for Healthy Valleys. And if I never had them, I'd be so quiet. I wouldn't have had the confidence. I wouldn't be able to work in a shop. I wouldn't be able to socialise in school. I wouldn't be able to feel as confident in myself if I didn't have the meetings.
Seeing how the Healthy Valleys, the people that work for Healthy Valleys, how much of an impact they make on somebody's life, and seeing my wee brothers come back from summer club and say how much they've had, how much fun they've had, and they can't wait for the next day because they can go back and relive it. It's just to know that they have that impact. I want to have that impact because it's something I'm just going to remember for the rest of their lives.
Within our Resilient People team, coronavirus had an impact on us and our communities that none of us could have predicted. People in our community suffered a loss of confidence, increased loneliness and isolation, and required our support over a longer period of time. Our team responded to the challenge by supporting our beneficiaries remotely by telephone and online activities, with great success.
So, Liz, from our journey with lockdown, how did you feel before joining Healthy Valleys?
Lonely, isolated. I'd just moved into the area, hardly knew anybody, no friends. It's just me and my son, and that was it.
And when we started blethering on the phone,
yeah.
How did that make you feel?
Confidence grew.
And then through blethering, we found out that you were a keen knitter.
Yeah.
So we started the knitting group online, but you were new to online.
Yeah.
So how did you feel?
At the start, a bit iffy, but once we got it going, easier than what I thought. And now I've got others knitting as well.
And then from us starting the online knitting knatter group, how did you feel meeting other individuals on similar situations as yourself?
I felt as if I wasn't the only one that was struggling. Do you know what I mean? There was other folk out there in exactly the same boat as me, you know what I mean? And I kind of took them under my wing, basically.
Yeah. How many of us have you taught how to knit online?
About half a dozen.
And then as restrictions eased, Liz, over time, how were you feeling as we were approaching being able to meet for the first time?
I was a bit nervous at first, but now it's a lot easier.
So Liz, what does the future hold?
Hopefully to get more folk involved in the knitting, that teach others to knit. Do you know what I mean?
Yeah. Oh,
if I can get that, then I'm happy.
If you reflect on how Healthy Valleys have impacted, how do you feel your journey's been?
A lot brighter than what it was 2 years ago. I've got more friends. I'm getting there. Slowly, baby steps.
Well, I'm with you.
Yeah. I've made quite a few friends since it all started. I'm getting out more.
So you feel you've had quite the turnaround from before lockdown to after?
I mean, if it hadn't been for you, I'd still be isolated.
In a year where everybody had a story to tell, we've been party to a lot of incredible ones. Nat and the Resilient People team have worked tirelessly to support people in our communities, and having learned a huge amount and overcome a huge amount of challenges, we're really looking forward to another year of helping people live their best stories.